All right, you grasshoppers. That's right. We're at it. I know usually we were at like 10 o'clock in the morning, but somebody was not around at 10 o'clock. So we're doing it now.
I stayed up late, and then
Doing
I
what?
slept late, and I've totally forgot about you, Tom. I
So
completely
let me get
forgot.
this straight. We're like, you tell everybody that we're like best friends and you forgot about me. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I was sleeping, so I forgot. I didn't set an alarm or nothing, and I can't keep up with the days. Like, I didn't know today was Tuesday. I had no idea. How am
We
I supposed to keep up with the days?
well, it's being on a schedule, discipline, discipline. We talk about that.
My
Oh,
God, no.
you have some law office or what? Like you got the wood paneling in the background there. Looks all.
No, this is my bed.
Oh, okay. Oh,
This is my headboard.
wait,
All the children are sleeping. Everybody's got their days and nights mixed up, so all the boys are crashed out in their room. I usually kick them out of their rooms, but they're all sleeping, so I thought I'd just come in the bedroom.
so it's
I
2:30.
look like a lawyer. I got like
Yeah,
a
I know. I was going to say you look like, you look like
no.
a
It's
law
just
firm.
my bed. It's the headboard.
No, no, there's no ruin. That's good. The law firm of Laidlaw and Stott. It was
Yeah, yeah.
Laidlaw goes first, though.
No, I'd be the boss in that scenario. I know more about the law than you do, Tom. I've broke it more often, I think.
Not you're all talk. You're all talk.
What
All
have you
right.
been doing?
What have I been doing? I actually, it's funny you talk about the staying on the schedule. Like I've been trying. I think like the first week where it just shut it down. I was I got lazy as far as like my schedule. You know, like working out and all that kinds of stuff. Now I find myself if I'm better. I'm up at 3:30 every day, anyways, and I go out in the march at 4 o'clock. I've been trying to walk more. I've been trying to get like that 5 miles in every day. How many miles you got in yesterday?
Oh, none. Got no miles in.
Yeah.
None. I went fishing yesterday, and
Hold on. Back up. Hold
what?
on. The floor in the garage.
Oh, I done that. I got it.
Did you
I
take?
done it. I posted a video on my story.
Oh, you did. Okay, I'll take a look. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. It may be off there by now.
All right.
Cause
Oh,
don't your story
yeah.
disappear after a day? Yeah,
24.
but I built it. I put it up, and I got all the furniture off my trailer I wanted to move, and I
Right.
done all that.
Right. Yeah.
See, I'm productive when I
Oh,
want to be.
I know. I know. I agree. Yeah.
It's being motivated to be productive is my
Well, it's
Achilles
really
heel.
tough too with this quarantine stuff, right? I mean, you're supposed to be staying inside, so it does make it tougher. So I'll give you an excuse on that. But you went fishing yesterday?
Yeah, I went fishing 2 days in a row. I went fishing. Yesterday it was kind of cool. It was a little chilly. It was like 62, but the day before it was like 78. It was like beautiful.
Huh?
So I got my razor out, and we went riding around on the farm, and
Yeah.
went down to the pond. But my friend brought his little boy over, and so I took his little boy. We went fishing, and other than that, I didn't do anything. I mean,
Right. Right.
it's hard to get motivated these days. Like you said, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I know. Okay, so a little bit of tough love here. Okay, I know it's hard. It is hard to do it, but if you just put your mind to doing it, I've seen. See, the Elaine I knew out on Survivor put her mind to doing something. She didn't
Yeah,
smoke for that whole time. She didn't drink Mountain Dew that whole time. She's all the whole like the discipline you showed on the show.
yeah.
So you have it in you. It's that that's the
I
part.
don't have the want. I told you this. I don't have the want right now. Like if I had a reason other than just being healthy, I think I might do something. But just being healthy, like that's a tough decision to like just be like, all right, today I'm gonna choose to.
Well, but you don't choose in one day, right? I mean, it's a process
Yeah,
in there. Like it's like we said, it's like instead of getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning, you get yourself up like at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then it's 8 o'clock
yeah.
in the morning, 7 o'clock. And the same thing with the diet, right?
Hey, I did wake up early yesterday,
Yeah.
but I stayed up all late.
What you got a back scratcher there?
It's a back scratcher.
Uh,
I listen. I got little T-Rex arms. I can't reach and like scratch in certain places, so I got my old fashioned
nice.
back
Yeah,
scratcher.
I saw the one video too you had on with your dogs running around there too. How many
Oh
dogs?
yeah, it's raining today. I was gonna let them out and let them run around today, but it's raining. Uh, they I've fixed all the places where they escape. I let them out from time to time, but
Right,
I can't let them all out together
right,
because they pack up and run to the neighbors, or my neighbors is across the mountain, and they'll go across the mountain. So I just let them out a couple at a time and let them run around.
They'll run wherever.
Oh, what it is they'll see a deer or a rabbit, or they'll see whatever, and then they'll just take off running. I live on 100 acres, and once they get going, like it's like, so if I let a couple out, they typically don't do that. Like if I let two out at a time and let them run around, and then once they get tired, they want to go back in the cage. You know, they actually try to dig to get back in.
Oh,
So I'll let them run around and get tired, and then I'll just open the door and they walk right back in, you know.
oh, cool.
But it's raining today, so I can't let them out today. It's raining, so I don't want them running around in the rain being.
I had a dog. Did you talk about my three-legged dog? Did I tell you that? Three-legged dog?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did. It was a mutt dog on the farm. I got the dog when I was probably, God, it must have been like 7 or 8 years old. The dog's name was Yo-Yo because the dog was bouncing around all over the place.
Yeah.
Great dog, became my dog. And then one day we're outside and the dog got in a fight with a German Shepherd, mangled its leg all up. So they tried to fix the leg. It ended up getting gangrene. So my father at the time, tough old farm guy, he picks up the dog one day and just didn't say a whole lot. He was going to take the dog away. We thought he was just going to put the dog down. So obviously we're sad a whole bit. 2 or 3 days later, he left the farm, came back, and he didn't tell us. I guess he didn't want us getting our hopes up that it was going to work. I think they probably said to him, well, we're going to try to take the leg off and just see how things go.
Yeah.
So he took off the truck one day, came back and opened up the door. The dog jumps out with 3 legs. And I'm thinking the dog's dead. Now it jumps out. It's got like all fur's all shaved off where the leg was. And and I'm looking and going,
freak you out. You're like, holy crap.
Yeah. And I was like, it's like, oh my God, this poor dog's only got 3 legs. The dog was fine. Lived another like 7 or 8 years with 3 legs.
Yeah. I've never had no 3-legged dogs or nothing like that. But I did have a dog that he got hit by a car. That's part of the reason why I started locking them up, is because a lot of them started going to the road for some reason. And my road's a good distance from the house. Yeah. And so this one went to the road. He got hit by a car. Yeah. I took him to the vet, and they were waiting for some of his wounds to heal so he could have surgery to have his leg amputated. Oh. And he got taken by coyotes. The coyotes around here killed him, and he disappeared. Wow. And it's like, yeah, so it's like a wounded animal, you know what I mean? Like he was attacked by a pack of wolves or something, and he was gone. So I was gonna have a 3-legged dog, but I didn't make it that far. It cost me in vet bills just to get him healthy. Yeah. And then right before I was getting ready to have his leg amputated, he got attacked.
We may want to call the Humane Society on you. So far,
why?
Killing that your father was killing that rodent, throwing a couch at him, and now you're endangering the life.
Listen, the coyotes up here, like before I went on the show, I had a boxer. I had him for like 8 or 9 years, and I had a Rottweiler and a Blackhound mix, and I had him for 8 or 9 years. And something happened. I don't know if they got. I don't know what happened to them. They disappeared, and when they disappeared, I was like, I'm not getting no dogs right now. That was when the whole Survivor thing was happening. I was like, I won't be home. Blah blah blah. So I didn't have any dogs, and for like a year. And my garage got broken into. There's coyotes around here now. I've always had outside dogs, 4 or 5 of them at one time. Right. And over the past year or two, I haven't had any. And because of that, I've got a coyote issue now. I've had thieves come up here. So it's like my girlfriend got me the Great Dane, and then somebody didn't want a litter of puppies, and I took the whole litter. Oh. But once again, they started running to the road, and I didn't want them to get hit. Yeah. And the Great Dane was inside. And when my girlfriend moved in, she's like, he's got to go or I'm not coming. And I'm like, dang it. So I fenced in a spot outside and actually put them in a fence. Oh. And because I usually just let my dogs run. I let them run all over the place. And if they go to the neighbors and attack the chickens, oh, well, I don't care. But I just got tired of them getting hit on the highway and losing them. So I decided I was going to start fencing them in. And
Sure.
like I said, I want to let the dogs out at just a couple at a time, because if you let all you can't let all six of them out. If the Great Dane gets loose, he's gone. Like
Right.
I have had to go to my neighbors a mile away to find that dog. Like he takes off like a deer, so he has to stay on a leash. But the pups, if I let them off, as long as I let only like one or two of them out at a time, they'll just run around, get tired, and go back in the cage.
Right.
Moose, I got to get him one of those runners, where you connect it to like a tree, and then you put it on his collar, and then you
Yeah.
connect it to another tree so he can run back and forth.
Kind of like what
So I got
Tanya,
to get that.
kind of like what Tanya's done with you, right? I mean, like,
Oh, Tom's got jokes. Tom's got jokes.
ah,
Oh yeah, she's put me in check, that's for sure. But
she's the boss,
I
right?
don't mind it so much, It's
That's
I
good.
do it willingly,
Yeah.
But she treats me too good to tell her no. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
There you go. That's good. I like it. There you
see,
go.
this is why I'm gonna be married, Tom, and why you're single. It's because you're old and stubborn. You don't want to
No,
give.
I'm
You
not
don't
old.
want to give. Yeah, you don't want to give.
Well, there's a little bit of that. There's no question. There's a little bit of that. Speaking of old, did we talk about how like a lot of the grocery stores around here, they've got the senior hours now?
Yeah, have you been going like I told you to?
No, no way, won't
You're
go.
you're so stupid.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Stubborn.
Yes,
Stubborn.
absolutely.
Just go get your groceries like with your people, Tom. Quit
Yeah.
being stubborn.
You know what though? I'm doing it I'm giving up my space for somebody else. They're gonna be walking around with a walker.
Oh, such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy. Hey,
Really.
listen, have they got your whole state locked down? You're in Connecticut, right?
Yeah. Well, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, it's all like one, they call it the tri-state area. So it's all pretty much the same, but Manhattan's the worst. It's just so, compacted, all the people and everything, but it's all, I mean, they've got it so that, I mean, technically you could still go out and everything, but they're really recommending you to stay inside. Like I go out for my morning march, and then I'm trying to get like 5 miles of walking in every day. And most people are pretty good. If you're walking down the sidewalk and somebody's coming towards you, one of the two will walk out in the street to make sure I mean, it's supposed to be 6 feet, but most people are staying 10 or 15 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
People are being pretty good. I mean, you get some people that get a little, and I'm like this too, right? You think, well, I'm King Kong, nothing's going to hurt me, but it's not about hurting you. It's about passing on to somebody else. And that's what we're really seeing around here now. And it was tough. Like a lot of people didn't pay attention to it at first. They were thinking, because they're just another government, overblowing things, whatever. And so,
Tom, listen, how old are you? You're older than damn it. Like, has this ever happened?
Do you want to talk about actual age, years, or about?
Yeah, you're older and damn it. So in my lifetime, the country has never shut down like this. And I'm 42 years old. I wanted to know, like, what another 100 years, has it ever shut down in your 100 years? Has it ever shut down like this?
Well, I was not around for it, but I think the Spanish flu in late 1919s or something like that, late 19 teens, like 1920. I guess it shut down like that too. A lot more deaths, but no, there was nothing like that when I was alive.
You wasn't around then. You sure?
No, absolutely
you
not.
Sure, maybe you was a baby or
Don't worry
something.
about the number. Don't worry about the fact that I'm going to be 62 next month. Worry about how it works, how it functions, how the machine functions.
Right? Yeah, I hear you. But seriously though, that's the thing is, like, in my 42 years, the country has never shut down like this. Yeah. I'm from a state that's like UK basketball is like March Madness is huge, and for them to cancel the NCAA tournament, for them to cancel the NWA, like, it has to tell you that there's something serious going on, because we don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, we have never done that before. So it should make people pay attention and be like, yo, this is some serious stuff. Look at all the things that are closing. Look at all the things that are postponed. And they don't just cancel a NCAA tournament for nothing. They've never done that before. So, like,
yeah. Well, I think it's, and what's interesting, I was talking about is, it's interesting, you're there in Kentucky. So around here, like, we're in kind of like the epicenter, like the New York City area.
Oh, yeah.
Epicenter for it. So,
and that's why I worry about you, Tom.
No, worry about the virus. The virus should worry about me.
Right? Oh, yeah. That's
ginger, turmeric.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Plus a little bit of tequila at night. There's no way a virus could survive in here.
I hear you, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like, where you're at, like, it's like, I don't know if it's true. Like, I seen something on the internet the other day of they had tractor trailer trucks putting bodies in them. Is that true?
Manhattan, yes, it's gotten that bad. There was it was last night. There was a person dying every 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. They've now brought in so they big convention center like the Javits Convention Center, which is on the west side of Manhattan. It's a huge place. So they've taken that all over because they can't have an event there anyways, and they put in I think 1,000 hospital beds. No, it was more. Excuse me, it's 2,500 hospital beds, and they're taking all the people out of the hospitals that are not coronavirus patients and putting them in this convention center so they can open up space for all the people that are coming in. They're now starting to get all the ventilators they need and everything in Manhattan, but it's a few things, right? It's just everybody is so compacted. Mass transit is such a big thing. You get on a subway, they just can't. There's just no possible way they could clean it enough.
Have they closed that stuff down yet, or no?
They got mass transit open because all the medical workers and the first responders and everything have to be able to get to work. So there's some real sad stories about people that there's first responders. They've got children at home and everything. So when they go to work, either they can't come home to their kids, or they have to make sure their kids stay away from it first. They come in the house, they shower, throw all their clothes into a bag so it's secure, and then now they can. There's other like some really sad stories. I shouldn't have watched the news today. I tried not to too much, but they had a few stories about people, obviously when they're in the hospital and they're dying from the virus, the family members can't come inside to be with them. So they're getting the family members on the phone, like a FaceTime call with a nurse who is trying to help them as much as they can during the time when their family member is dying. And I watched it this morning. It's like, oh God, it's just like, there's so much stuff because for a lot of us, life is going on as much as we're quarantined. Most people around their families, they're, people are getting things done. Their life is going on, but we're forgetting that, that Sochi, whoever it was, the doctor that seems to be the smartest one of all of them, was talking that he thinks it's going to be anywhere from 100 to 200,000 people that are going to die from all this. So it's a real deal.
Yeah, that's the thing is like because people's not right there in Manhattan and going through that, and they're on the outskirts of it, like they think nothing's wrong. They think everybody's blowing it up out of proportion, and that's not the case. It just hasn't got to them yet. But if people don't do what they're supposed to do, it's going to get to everybody. Like it's gonna, and the for the nation to close down like it did, like it's something serious.
Well, and we even noticed it here. Like I noticed my reaction to a change as we got deeper into it. At first, it was kind of like, all right, I'm not going to get it, But then again, it's the first, you realize, well, yeah, I could get it. And secondly, it isn't about you or me getting it. It's about us passing it on to somebody else. Like God forbid you go someplace and you don't get sick, but you carry it to an older person or somebody who's weakened immune system, and you infect them. So,
and that's what my girlfriend's been most scared of, is because at first she was still working, and there's not a lot of cases here where we're at. I think they've only had like their second case or something in Laurel County, not even in my county, the county over, and so where we're at, it's not like up where you're at. It's totally different. But because there's just a few cases rolling in here and there, there's probably a lot of people that probably has it. They just not been tested yet. And so she was worried, her going to work, that she would bring something back home. And I told her, I was like, 1, stay away from people, like keep a safe distance. 2, wear gloves, wash your hands, do not touch your face. Because even if you say you wear gloves, if you're wearing gloves and you touch your face, what's the point of wearing gloves? You know what I mean? So like, I just try to tell her, like, don't forget, because it's easy to go back and fall back into your old routine, but it's really important right now to remember to do those things. And so in the beginning, she was coming home about every day crying because she's got real bad anxiety. And so everything she done was like freaking her out. And so she would come home and she would cry and we would just work through it. But she's been able to stay home. She's been out for a week now. She don't go back to work till April 6th. And I'm thinking that they may push it back further. I'm hoping.
I think they'll push it back further. What does she do again?
She works in it's a raw casting plant for Toyota. We make car parts and like transaxles, crankcases, engine parts. And it's a raw casting plant. So it's like you work with hot aluminum. You shoot them into a die. the dye molds it and it comes out, and you inspect it. And
Right.
I mean, it's
So
but we ship to Georgetown and up towards Lexington, and they're the ones that actually they're the car manufacturing plant,
right.
and they assemble the cars. Well, they're out until April 20th. The problem is that we ship to other people,
Right.
and as of right now, I don't know if those other people are shut down. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I don't know what their dates are on when they go back, because we ship to North Carolina, West Virginia, overseas, like
Right.
all kinds of different places.
Well,
So
they say that we're probably 2 or 3 weeks away from the apex. We hit the peak.
the peak.
So
Yeah.
that's here. So I'm assuming it eventually, if there's a couple of cases or small number of cases in certain places like where you are, it is going to grow.
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to. It would make sense. It wouldn't grow as quickly or as much as it would in a place like Manhattan that's so crowded. But
Yeah.
that's why I think like they've got the social distancing rules in place until the end of April here now. So kids will go back to school. Businesses won't be
Yeah.
open until the end of April for sure, and
Yeah.
it may pass that too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, where we're at. No, there's not as many people here. I don't know how many people's in my town. I think like 30,000's in my town, but I live on the outskirts of town, and like in just this little general area, I don't even know if you have 100 people.
Wow.
In a couple miles. I don't know. I live real far out, so it's like, I'm not seeing my neighbor every day. You know what I mean? Like, I literally have to drive across the road to go see a neighbor. You know what I'm saying? So like the spread, it won't be like it is up there.
Yeah.
However, there are a lot of people in town, and like they're still going to Walmart. They're still, and it's like,
You're all related too, right?
yeah, everybody's well. That's the funny thing, is like everybody in the country is typically related,
Yeah.
but like when my grandpa passed, he was, I think I may have some distant cousins here, but he was my last, like relative, you know what I mean?
Right.
But my girlfriend, like, she's got people all over these hollers, like.
Right. So like you guys are engaged now, right? September.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Who knows if we're going to end up getting married or not?
Yeah.
It may bump it back. Like, I hope the nation's back to normal by then, and people do the right thing and stay safe and stuff, and so we can get married.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Were you pretty romantic when you engaged, or are you asked to get married, or?
I mean, I pulled one off. Tommy and all them was here. Tommy and Lauren, Chelsea, Dean, Kelly, Jack, Elizabeth.
Right.
They were all here, and I had took her up to the barn blindfolded, and we had decorated the barn, and yeah, she thought she was getting a horse because she wants a horse so bad.
You went to the little horse.
Yeah, so I took her to the barn thinking she was going to get a horse, and I ended up proposing instead.
Did you get down the whole bit, or what'd you do?
Yeah, I did. I was actually going to do it on Survivor, but it just didn't feel right.
Right.
So
when the loved ones visit?
Yeah, on the loved ones visit, I was going to propose then. And you know how it is, Tom. There's hundreds of cameras there, hundreds of people there, and I was like,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing it. Never mind. So I just waited until we came back home.
At that point, the emotion from, like, you were crying like a little baby, by the way, but the emotion from having not seen each other for so long. Yeah.
Tom, I remember this was day 4.
We're
day 4. We're down on the beach, and I'm like bopping through camp, and I come upon Aaron and Tom sitting on the bank. And I was like, I come up and I'm all happy go lucky. I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? And they're all like, and I was like, are you guys crying? And both of them were like, no, we're not crying. And I was like, seriously, you're crying?
Don't know what you're
talking about. I had to give both you and Aaron both a pep talk. And I was like, listen, boys, like, don't let it get to you. Don't focus on home. Focus on what we can do right now. And I gave you guys a pep talk because the two biggest guys were balling like babies on day 4.
What's I did not see that on national television.
Tom, you know it happened. I can't believe they saved y'all's asses by leaving that out because
No.
it was day 4. I'm pretty sure it was day 4.
Well, you may not be working at a manufacturing plant anymore, but you're manufacturing a lot of stuff still. I'll tell you that. I don't know where you come up with
I manufactured lies. That's the truth. That's a true story. And if you guys want any more other true stories about the island and how Tom was a big baby, holler at me. Send me a shout out.
We
Yes.
should take questions on that. But see, all I know is that on national television, I sat here and watched. Ron Jameson wrote in pretty funny. He was crying because Tom missed his tequila. That's
Probably.
Yeah.
No, he was crying over his sweetie, which he doesn't have anymore.
I remember watching on national television when loved ones visit. Tanya comes out. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you cry?
It's because I was deprived on day 4, Tom. I like you was balling on day 4.
Did you cry more?
Day 4.
Did you cry more for Jeff or for Tanya? I don't know.
Oh, that's a close one because
Right.
I didn't cry for Jeff for your information. I cried because I was so emotional. I had a reason to be emotional. You, on the other hand, you big dummy, you didn't have a reason. You was just missing home. You're such a crybaby.
You probably don't even. You probably never even had a Chihuahua. You probably made that whole story up about the Chihuahua too. That was a good story though.
I did. I made that up.
Remember the first day there, and we're on the first night, and we went around, and everybody got a chance to give their evaluation of all 19 other players. What'd you say about me? What'd you think of me when you?
I told him that I thought you was a old school, older than damn it. Reminded me of my grandpa. I don't remember exactly what I said. I don't remember.
It was
but
funny.
I knew I could trust you from the moment me and you spoke. Like I knew I could trust you.
I know.
And it was just when you're like you're from the country, right? And I said, yeah. You said, me too. Grew up on a farm, Canada. I was like, all right, that's my guy right there. There's my guy.
Well, I do remember that though, because it's funny, right? I mean, now obviously you trust each other, but even when you're out there, you think, okay, I think I can trust her. It seems like you hit it off like we really don't know for sure, right? I mean, because that's part of the game.
But, kind of like when I went looking for an island and you pouted up and you're like, I can't trust her no more. Remember that? And I had to prove myself again to you.
I was saving your rear end again because I was playing with those guys, letting them think that maybe I wasn't so tight with you, because if they thought we were tight, then we were like this. One of us was going to get booted off if we're too tight. So I saved you again.
You throwed my name out there, Tom. No, I never threw your name out. Not once. Not one time. Even when you was being a big baby and you was like, oh. And I was like, Tom, I got you. Don't you worry. Yeah. And then,
I didn't throw your name out there, by the way.
Well,
never.
Anyway, you was crying on day 4. And yes, I cried a lot, which they didn't show it on TV as much as I cried. I did cry a lot.
Yeah.
But I was an emotional wreck because I went through some shit, and you was crying because you're a big baby.
I don't know where
there's a difference.
I don't remember the crying part for me. I don't see it anywhere. It's not on TV. Never happened.
No, listen. Did you start crying because Aaron was crying and you felt bad, so you was like, I'm gonna cry too?
It was the gameplay. It was gameplay. I was trying to make it seem like I was with him.
You're such a liar.
We're bonding over crying.
You're such a liar.
If
yeah.
If he showed up, I was probably gonna give him a hug or something too.
I think you guys would have been man hugging if I hadn't. I came down there. I was just in total shock because it literally was like day 4, and I was like, I was joking around and like hee ha ha, and I got to looking and I was like, wait a minute, and I even said, I was like, are you guys crying? And you guys are like, no, we're not crying. We're not crying. And that was the funniest thing. But then I gave you my pep talk, and I was like, it's okay, boys. Don't focus on your family. Yeah, you're welcome, Tom, for keeping you in it, because you probably would have quit. You'd be like, I can't handle this. I need to go.
You know what? I don't know. If you want to go with that story, that's fine. I don't recall it.
That's the one I'm going to rock with. Tom was going to quit, and I talked him out of it.
Yeah. What?
You're welcome.
Yeah. So we've been probably stuff. So Elizabeth and Jack, they're now like, are they married or?
No, they're living together. They're super happy. Dude, they were made for each other. Like it was meant for them to find each other. Like they're like the perfect little couple. It's awesome. They're good people. They're super happy together. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Excellent.
Yeah. They Jack was living with Jamal, but he moved in with Elizabeth. They took the next step, moved in together. So
Rhode Island crew, right? Who was like, wasn't Aaron from Rhode Island?
yeah,
And
Aaron, Jamal, Elizabeth, and now Jack is
yeah.
living up there too. So yeah,
There's only one person from Kentucky.
only one. That's only one you need right here.
I'm going to
That's
call
all
you.
you need.
Your nickname, the manufacturer. That's your nickname from now on. The manufacturer. You manufacture
Yeah,
things.
yeah, because I be punching out the truth is what it is. That's what you're trying to say, right?
The manufacturer. You get your own manufacturing plant there, right there.
So
Right there.
what do you got planned? What do you got planned for the rest of the week? What are you doing?
Well, I'll get up tomorrow morning at 3:30. I'll make the bed perfect with discipline. We'll go downstairs and we'll juice up a beet and some ginger and some turmeric. Down that with you can put a little pepper in there. You have to put pepper in with the turmeric so the turmeric gets absorbed into your body better. Okay. Then we're going to go with the big jug of amino acids. What are you shaking your head for? This is called the
because your mouth isn't matching your words. I don't know what you look like. You remember how you used to talk about that ventriloquist act? That's what you look like. It looked like somebody's talking off camera, and you're going.
No, that's the way you are when you're telling stories, like you manufacture and stuff. It doesn't even make sense at all.
No, it's because my mouth moves so fast.
Next time you tell the story, I'll put like subtitles underneath that are really telling the truth. Like you're talking one story, we'll have subtitles underneath there. Or telling like
you didn't do that for yourself. You snitch and lie more than anybody I know. you do. You make stuff up all the time, Tom.
Where are you coming up with it? What?
I wasn't asking you like what you were doing step by step. Oh, I'm gonna get up and make my bed, walk downstairs. I was asking you like in general, like, and you go into an in-depth detail that I don't want to know what you're doing. I don't want to.
Like last time, I was being thorough. I was trying to find out whether the Chihuahua is actually a dog or not. All right, so we'd be thorough because we do things properly here. You filled it up. You fill the wheelbarrow up to the top.
No
question. You're going to get the full answer.
I just was curious as to like what do you got coming up on these, like, you know, you doing the home workouts and printing people's pictures off, gotta be in your backyard and stuff. Like, what are you doing?
Aren't you happy now that you got your picture included there?
Oh, I've been to Connecticut apparently.
Yeah, you're in my kitchen. I was cooking turkey sauce. Kicked it up a little bit too. You probably never found it. Did you ever have Frank's Red Hot sauce?
What?
Frank's Red Hot sauce. It's like got cayenne pepper in it and everything, great for chicken wings. Well, they at Costco, the happy place, Costco had a big thing of Frank's hot sauce, but it's not the sauce, the powder. So I put it in with my turkey sauce. Oh God, heaven!
No, that doesn't sound good. You know what my happy place is? What? Lowe's. I love Lowe's.
Lowe's is good.
Yeah, I got a Lowe's credit card and I will run that sucker up like no tomorrow. Like, I love Lowe's. I've not been charging on it. I paid all my bills off when I got the SIA money. So I've not charged anything on nothing. So I've been paying cash. So I've not been making as many trips because I love Lowe's.
Oh, by the way, have you talked to your friend, the Queen there who quit the other day? What's her name? Sandra. Yeah,
I've talked to Sandra. She's I love Sandra. Like, I messaged her and I was like, yo, don't let, because I know a lot of people online has been giving her a lot of hate, and I messaged her and I was like, listen, in my eyes, you're still queen. Don't listen to these haters.
Yeah.
So, no, I've talked to her and she's I love Sandra.
Yeah, no, I was really surprised we were at the finale. Like, surprise is not the right word. It's terrible saying it that way. She was a really nice person too. She was a lot of fun.
She is. She's super cool. I just don't get the online hate stuff. If you don't agree with her quitting, like, that's cool. That's fine. You have a right to that opinion. But like, don't hate people. Like, calm down. You know?
That's the bad part with social media and all this kind of stuff. People get really brave and they say things when they're not. Like, if they're right in front of her face, they probably would never say that stuff, right?
Yeah.
They feel brave when they're doing
it. It's like it's hate over a TV show. Why do that? Like, it's just TV. Like, we're people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Don't be mean like that. And like, you know, Nick and Wendell was getting hate for voting out poverty, and like, they're getting called like really derogatory comments, and yes, and it's like, stop that, dude. Don't do that.
Well, our show is probably the worst, right? With the whole
Oh yeah,
movement
yeah,
kind of stuff. And
yeah. But I just don't agree. I don't agree. Hate. I don't agree in the hate. You
yeah,
know, like any kind. Like it's just not. Don't do it. Like you can have a difference of opinion and be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do that, and
yeah.
it's okay. You
And
know.
what's the point too? Like what's it accomplishing by voicing your opinion? I think a lot of people are doing it to get a rise of it too, right? So they make a comment and then somebody else makes a comment on top of that. And now they've got, I
Yeah.
hate to say it. And again, I'm generalizing when I say this, but it's probably somebody just sitting there home all by themselves. So they want to generate this interest in what they're saying. And unfortunately they use somebody else to do that. So that's,
Yeah.
like, I think it's
I
easier.
just don't. I
Yeah.
don't understand it. It's
Yeah.
I don't do it. Like even if I'm mattering damn it as somebody, like I try not to like
Yeah.
come at them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Yeah.
don't do that. Just
Yeah.
try to be a better person, dude. So
Well,
that's
what we can say to a lot of people, right? I mean, it's like especially right now with what we're going through. I mean, it's really a time. It's like wartime, really, right? Our country is kind of at war we're at war against this virus, and at wartime, people pull together and help each other more. That's become something that we're kind of missing a little bit. I had a guest on last week. We were talking about this a little bit, female, and she's talking about how men, for example, have lost the that thing about be a gentleman and opening doors and little stuff like that, where we need more of that kind of stuff, like helping other people out. I've talked about this. I think you make yourself a much stronger person when you're helping other people, right? It's not just about helping that person. You feel better about yourself because you're thinking, now, geez, I've done something good.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like if people would take a different approach, like and do it from a place of positivity instead of negative, you know what I mean? Like it'd be a totally different thing. But I don't know why people choose to do the things they do. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think you're always gonna have that one guy. You know what I mean? You're always gonna have that one person, that one jackass that wants to poke the bear or be mean about something. And like you said, it has a lot to do with people how they feel about themselves.
Yeah, totally.
And so I mean, we're not going to stop it. So all you can do is let stuff roll off your back and just keep marching forward and don't let the negativity get to you.
Yeah, and like you said, like with in Sandra's case, have people around her that are supporting her and say, "Listen, don't pay attention to that." It's almost like you wish you wouldn't even read it. Right? I mean, I guess I'm somewhat more fortunate because of playing hockey all those years. You're constantly getting criticized. Like you're playing in front of millions of people on TV and thousands of people in the arena. Like in Madison Square Garden here in New York, that's where I played as my home rink for 7 years, and it's a fantastic place. Ranger fans are incredible, but I tell you, they let you know if you're not playing well. They let you know. I mean, that part. They love the team, and if you're not doing your job, they're going to let you know. And you're at first when you're a younger player, it kind of gets to you, and then after a while, you realize it's just part of the battle. That's why I think I didn't really want to be friends with you, but I thought, well, I can take it. It's going to be a hard road, but I can take it.
Yeah, you're like, yo, I'm gonna get all this negative crap for being friends with this little lesbian from Kentucky. Whatever, Tom. You're like, oh, you're gonna be my best friend. We're gonna be, and I was like, I don't know about you. I kind of, I was second guessing there for a minute. I was like, I don't know about this guy. And then
I was doing all the work out there. You're just sitting around on your rock that you carried.
Whatever. You took more naps than anybody on the season. Yeah, Papa. Yeah, you was napping every other breath. It's like we would work 5 minutes, and you're like, "Oh, I need to take a break," and I'm like, "You just had a nap, Tom. You literally napped all the time. You was like on Nap City."
I did not nap all. I do enjoy a good nap, but I did not nap all the time. I was busy making sure that you weren't getting voted off by Ronnie and Aaron.
Dude, you only people you talked to was me, Aaron. I think you talked to Dean a little bit, but like you never really talked to any of the girls. So I was always telling you what the girls were saying, and keeping you in the loop. Yeah, so you was always the one. Like Missy and Elizabeth both said, I never spoke to Tom. Like I never talked to Tom.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, because you was on the outs. You was on the outs more than me.
No, I don't.
I saved you. You're welcome.
And that's what happens over time, I think, with you, that you're stuck out there in the middle of nowhere and like things are going on in your head that you think are the truth, the things that really happened before, and that just didn't happen that way. Like you're
Yeah, I think all that turmeric's gone to your head and it's messed up your memory, and that and Alzheimer's because you older than damn it.
actually the turmeric, and actually I thought it was called turmeric. It's actually turmeric. There's an R in there.
Turmeric.
And it actually helps fight off Alzheimer's too. So you should start taking it because you're getting up there too. But you know, and your lifestyle too is not very conducive to fighting off diseases and.
Listen, my grandpa smoked cigars, ate like every kind of meat known to man. He never went on a diet in his life, and he lived to be 88 years old.
He was a hard-working farmman too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he worked every day
until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's true. I do sleep,
Yeah.
but I stayed up too late. My grandpa would never stay up that late.
Yeah.
He was in bed early.
He had discipline. He would get up and go to work, milk the cows. They have a dairy farm? Did they have cows?
No, my grandpa on my mom's side was a dairy farmer. This grandpa the farm I live on here, he was a horse farmer.
Oh, okay.
And he buys, sell, and trade. Like he'd build a wagon and trade it for a horse, who then turn around and trade it for a car, or trade it for a gun, and he'd make 100 here and lose 100 there.
Well,
the life of a trader.
They weren't famous like you, though, right?
Huh?
They weren't famous like you, the manufacturer on Survivor.
No, my grandpa, he didn't watch much TV. He watched the news, Wheel of Fortune, Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives?
Yes, and he would watch wrestling. And that's about the only things my grandpa would watch. And
you ever watch soap opera?
Yeah, well, when I lived with them, that's what him and my granny used to watch. My granny used to watch it all the time.
Oh.
And so we would watch Days of Our Lives. Well, she passed away when I was like 14, and it was just me and my grandpa. Well, he continued to watch it and watch it over the years. And the funny thing is like if you walked in and he was watching it, he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what that is there." He would pretend like he didn't know what it was. But he loved watching Days of Our Lives. And he was a huge wrestling fan.
Right.
And he literally thought wrestling was real. I know they're like real performers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they really get hurt. I know all that stuff. Yeah. But like, the matches are planned. They know who's going to win, that stuff. But every day, like after he would watch wrestling, he would walk up to my house and he'd be like, "Lane," he said, "Oh, Vince McMahon died last night," or something, And I'm like, "What?" And I would have to say, like, did he die like in real life or was it on TV? And he said, "No, on that wrestling last night, they blowed his car up." And I say, "Grandpa, he's not dead." And he's like, oh yeah, he's dead. It blowed it up. And, and I say, "Well, I guarantee in 2 days when the next episode comes on that you going to find out that he's not dead." And sure enough, 2 days later, he'd walk back up to my house and he'd say, "You's right. He got out the back of that car. They showed it." And he got out at the last minute, like.
So what would you think, though? I mean, if he was really convinced that he died, then what would he think he was alive then? What was he saying? Like it's a miracle or?
No, he was like, that different camera angle, they showed it and he got out, thankfully, he believed every bit of it. So what I was saying is if he ever saw me on TV, like he would have been like confused, I think, you know what I mean? Cause I would have been home and I would have been on TV, because it airs after we come back. Right. So he probably wouldn't have he wouldn't have understood it. You know what I'm saying? He would have got a trip out of it for sure. Right. And after he passed, I actually went. I would take the boys and take them to wrestling matches and stuff. And it was the first ones I had ever been to, and I could just see my grandpa would have been beaming with pride because I got to meet some of his favorite wrestlers, and he would have just got such a kick out of that. But yeah, he didn't watch much TV, so he would have been lost in translation with me being home and me being on the screen. He would have been like, "What? How are you here? But you're on my TV. I don't understand." I could hear him now. He would have got a kick out of it for sure.
But an old teammate of mine was like best friends with Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was one of my grandpa's favorites. I met I don't know if you remember any of the old school wrestlers, but I met like Kurt Angle and Mick Foley and some of those guys at the wrestling thing. and it was the year after my grandpa passed, and I thought, man, I wish I had went to matches earlier. He would never go to stuff like that. I remember one time I rented a pay-per-view, because like the big matches were always on pay-per-view,
Right.
and he would get so tore up because he couldn't watch it because he would never ever pay for no pay-per-view. He's like, that's ridiculous. So I rented it one time and he watched it, and he was one of those, like, he would throw punches and he'd be like, oh, while he's watching it. Oh man, it was so great to watch him watch pay-per-view. Was like, I don't know, it just filled my heart up. You know what I mean? Like, it was hilarious. He was so tickled that he got to see that. But he was a huge fan, and he thought that, he thought all of it was real. So he would have got a trip out of me being on TV for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, my granny would have loved it too. My granny was right there with them. Like, she's a little bitty old lady, and she would throw punches and stuff.
Wow.
They got into their wrestling, boy. Don't you come around when wrestling's on, because he won't talk to you.
I would
You
have
know?
had to sit there with him and tell him the real truth too. Like, all this
No, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager and I was a kid, I would tell him it was fake. I was like, this is all fake, because I was being mean. And he's like, how you know? And then somebody would get hit in the head with a chair. He's like, does that look fake to you? Does that look fake? But but he loved him some wrestling, man. He was a good old dude, though.
That's cool.
He really was.
Very cool. All right, Elaine. I'm tired of you.
I'm tired of you, Tom.
5 minutes. So you go back and take a nap now? You've been up for what, an hour? Or you take a nap?
Yeah, let's see I've been up for an hour.
So you're not gonna have you had a Mountain Dew yet?
No, I drank some Gatorade when I got up this morning.
Nice. That's getting there. All right. A little high.
Yeah, I listen, I made an effort. I had the old lady go get me some Gatorade so I would have something other to drink.
Sure.
I can't just drink water.
You want me to
It's
send you
gross.
a bit tub of that powder of amino acid? You'll love it. It's orange flavor.
What's it taste like? Oh, okay.
All different kinds of flavors. I get orange. You put a big jug of water. You put anywhere from 2 to 6 scoops in there. Tastes good. Amino acids. They'll strengthen all your muscles. So when you move that rock again in another month, so you can sit someplace else and you do it. But
Yeah, listen, I haven't. I went and when I built that porch the other day when I extended that porch, that night my freaking hip and my knee was killing me from being bent over and stuff. Like, my joints were hurting me so bad. Like, I'm old.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a balance board so you can work out on the balance board.
I have a balance board.
Okay, so you got that. We're going to get to amino acids. Man, what happened to, didn't I send you a training program like 2 months ago or whatever?
I still got it. We're not allowed to go to the gym now, Tom.
I work out at home. I work out lifting up propane tanks.
I know. I'm going to go out here and lift my dogs up.
Yeah, just throw them under the couch. Lift the couch up. All right, guys. So this was it for Tuesday. We're going to be back on Thursday. I'd like to tell you, remember, but I guess we're kind of on Elaine's schedule, whatever she decides she's going to show up.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. All right. See you guys on Thursday. Get out of here.
Bye.